I was thinking what to say, and I'm trying to I'm trying. you know when I'm trying, I gotta move the camera because I don't like the angle. You know things are bad because I'm trying to think what is the best way to wrap your head around this dilemma. And I think the best way to wrap your head about this dilemma is the fact that we knew it. We called it. Yes, I picked the Giants to win yesterday, 24-17, but I think a lot of people even said it yesterday. I thought it was funny on X. They were like, you just kind of did that as a fan thing. And I said, yeah, I probably did. I probably knew deep down inside we were going to get shellacked. Because everyone told me that everything that I said yesterday was negative. Not everyone in the chat. I'm not blaming anyone in the chat. I'm just saying people in general outside the chat, outside the channel. Everything I always said was negative. Everything I said is negative. Everything I've been saying is negative. Everything that has just been terrible. Well, the problem is everything that I said that was negative happened. Everything I said that the Commanders should do to beat the Giants, they did. Everything that I said the Giants shouldn't do, they did. And they lost. They lost resoundingly. The scoreboard should have been like 38-6 because Jaden Daniels was not accurate yesterday. He had points where he just missed guys, which is fine. That happens. And it gave the Giants life. It gave Giant fans this misconception that the defense was so wonderful. It was so great. It wasn't. It was the fact that the Commanders kept shooting themselves in the fucking foot with bad penalties and missed opportunities by Jaden Daniels. I want to start. I'm going to get to the chat, but I want to start with Abdul Carter. And I'm not saying anything about Abdul Carter. I just kept telling people over and over again. He right now is Bryce Huff. He is a guy that can go out, use the speed to go after the quarterback. But he's not good in tackling in open field. He's not good at tackling in space, and he's not good in coverage. And you have some morons, and I'm not going to point out people directly because there's too many of them.
Stupid Giant Twitter post.
That said, it was malpractice that the New York Football Giants defensive coordinator Shane Bowen limited the snaps of Abdul Carter in the second half to only 38%. Sure, man. You can join the stream in a few minutes. Sure. I got to do my monologue first. But they were like, it was malpractice that they didn't play him more. Well, did you see him against the run? Did you see him at times when he wasn't using his speed to rush the passer? He's not good at those things. You want to put a guy on the field that is good at what he does, and what he does well, or should hopefully do well, is rush the passer. He is not good in coverage. He is not good at the run. He is undersized. Jaxson Dart looks bigger than him, and I kept saying during the draft, I kept saying this over and over again, you're drafting a guy that you may only play 38% of the snaps, which I thought was hilarious that he played 38% of the snaps in the second half. It's not defensive malpractice. It's the fact that when he's in the game, and I kept saying this, you see Abdul Carter in the game, you know what you do? You run at him. You don't run away from him. You run right at his ass. You take it to him immediately. 32 carries for 220 yards proves that. So when they limited his snaps in the second half to basically third down rushes, it was because of the fact that they know he is a liability. That can change over time. He could get better at doing certain things, but in week one, outside of his speed, and yes, he did get a hand on the punt, which was speed, which he came off the corner and blocked. He's not shedding blockers. The phrase we always used, he gets lost in the sauce. And when he has to go up against bigger and stronger guards and tackles, he gets slowed down. So you can't put all this on the rookie when you want him to do things that he is not good at. And when Micah McFadden went down, I was like, oh shit, this is going to get really bad really quick because you're going to play Abdul Carter more. And they did. And like I said, Walla, 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 what's up? And they did. And what happened? They should have been up 28-6. So you cannot call defensive. People need to learn football. That's it. You need to learn football. And I love it because someone sent me a video of Cup Izzle playing a whistle or something. I couldn't even watch because the guy's a fucking idiot. Because he doesn't know football. He just likes to yell and scream, but he's a fucking moron. Learn football. Learn the fact that you are a seasoned offensive coordinator. You see a deficiency in a defense when you have three players of the same size and the same ability on the field. What do? You attack that deficiency. Brian Burns, yes, had 2 sacks against a rookie, but nothing after that first half because what did they do? They moved the tight end over to that side. Not difficult to figure it out. Not difficult to figure out. And play, and I love it. Then the brilliance, because I remember this, saw this on Twitter. I should do 2 for 2 stupid giant Twitter posts. What did they do? What did I tell you not to do? I said, for the love of God, do not use Abdul Carter as a spy. Because I literally watched Abdul Carter watch Jaden Daniels, and then I watched Jaden Daniels pick apart the defense because you were basically a man. You're basically playing 10 on 11. And Abdul Carter as a spy, you don't just stand in the middle of the fucking field. If you see, you need to read and react. Being a spy does not mean you just sit there and watch the fucking guy. That's not what being a spy. Oh, just for you, Emanuel. You can do it.
Oh, no. We suck again.
It does not mean that's what you do. It does not mean that. It doesn't mean you just sit there and fucking watch the guy. You can creep. You can keep him in front of you. If you see a rush lane, you know what you do, which I saw a couple times? You run after him. You chase him out of the pocket. And I'm not just blaming Abdul Carter for this loss because it's not his fault. It was the misusage of him early that they corrected in the second half. And honestly, they started playing a little bit better in the second and third quarter until they ran out of gas. And you knew Jaden Daniels was going to start picking us apart. But to give up 220, it's so easy to beat the fucking Giants. I love when people are like, Tim, you should have stayed in football because everything you said happened. It's not, I'm not omnipotent. It's just simplistic offensive game planning when you see a team with these types of deficiencies. And we still haven't corrected them. And you're running a soft zone, not even a Tampa 2. You're running a soft zone with 2 press cover corners that are man-to-man guys. And you're shocked that Jaden Daniels, when we don't have a rush, is sitting there and picking him apart. Jaden Daniels has another fucking gear. The pass that the play that he ran around Brian Burns, he literally was looking back at Brian Burns at one point like, you want me to wait? I'm going to run to the sideline. Would you like me to wait for you to catch up a little bit? If you don't get to the quarterback and you don't figure things out, you're going to get picked apart in this zone defense when you have guys not playing the zone. I love that you had another content creator on Saturday post. Look at Cordell Flott. Look at that big play by Flott. Yeah, then Flott proceeded to give up passes of 33 and 17 yards. Cordell Flott is not a starting corner. Please stop. I have been saying that since training camp. Please stop. For the love of God, stop. You can't stop the run. You can't stop the pass. You have a collection of talent that it just does not mesh together and doesn't mess well with the defensive coordinator. But that's okay because offense, we suck just as bad.
That's what she said.
You watch Josh Allen in that comeback win, and you watch Josh Allen since Brian Dable has left, and Josh Allen's gotten better. Won an MVPs, pulled out some big games. Brian Dable, we forget, or not we forget, because I don't fucking forget. I forget nothing. Brian Dable got fired from every other NFL job as an offensive coordinator he's ever had, even by his mentor, outside of Josh Allen. But that's our quarterback guru who has not put together, and I love it. People are like, well, he's got to take over the play call. He's been calling the plays for 2 years, and for 2 years, our fucking offense sucks. So the boy genius and the quarterback whisper, yeah, no. You have a depleted offensive line. You have not even depleted. You have a bad offensive line that's getting shellacked by I love it. Let's talk about it. By a old defense. Kept hearing that, and I kept telling people, no. Don't fall for that trap. But a lot of people fell for the trap. And what do you continuously do? You continuously take shots downfield. Poor Russell Wilson. I thought Sierra was going to be a widow. I thought she was going to start dating Mello ever since the Lala divorce. Because she was going to have to, because her husband was going to get killed. And I give Russell Wilson all the credit in the world. He hung in there and still tried to push the ball downfield. And for all the morons that are calling for Jaxson Dart, you put Jaxson Dart in, now I quit. You do that, FanDuel, goodbye, believe, and FanDuel took that. FanDuel 6.5-point underdogs, FanDuel.com. They were right. Number one sportsbook in America, that's FanDuel. Make sure you go out there right now. Play the slots. Place your bets. Do your parlays. We all love FanDuel here. I love people that tell us, where's Dan the Man? Dan the Man always wins on FanDuel because he's smart and he bets right. So make sure you go to FanDuel.com, the number one sportsbook in all the land or America. Do everything. I like the slots. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because I like shiny things that spin, like most Giant fans. But the idiocy of playing Jaxson Dart is just and the more, and take off the fucking sunglasses, Brian Dable. You know why you wear sunglasses on the sidelines? Because you're a pussy. Because you don't want people to see your eyes. Because that's what people do when they wear sunglasses inside. They have no confidence in themselves. People are like, well, Tim, you always wear sunglasses. Yeah, I got light blue eyes and I have light sensitivity. I'm like a fucking vampire. And then you get into a fight with Malik Neighbors. Malik Neighbors, I don't think he's going to be here for year 3 if this keeps up. I don't want to see more Cam Scatterboo. I don't want to see more -2 yards. You know, it's funny, people, and I'm going to get into Malik Neighbors, but I'm going to get into Cam Scatterboo a second. Cam Scatterboo, nice block. Problem with the nice block is he got lifted up. If he would have got off against a linebacker or defensive end and tried that and got lifted up that high, he would have been chucked off to the side. Plain and simple. Football 101. Cam Scatterboo tried to attack the middle of the field, ran into a line. Hit somebody, didn't bounce off. Bounced back. That's what I love about people. He bounced off. No, he bounced backwards. Same with the run play, the pass play. Nice catch. He's got good hands. I've said this before. He only gained an extra yard and kept bouncing backwards. This is not Arizona State. Not every play you try to run over people. That's how you get hurt, and that's how you end your career. So stop. And for the love of God, people, stop. He ran for -2 yards. And then we used him on the goal line. He got shellacked. But how do you have an argument with your prima donna wide receiver 26 minutes into the game that the team has to rally around him and calm Neighbors down? How does that happen? And Malik Neighbors needs to drink a tall glass to shut the fuck up, because he looked gassed towards the end of the game, and he had 12 targets. It's not like they weren't trying to get the ball to him. It was the ineptitude of the offensive line, which couldn't generate a running game, which in turn had Washington just pin their ears back and go after Russell Wilson on an offensive line that did not play well at all. Oh, Hudson. Oh, Hudson. Oh, just Hubbard. Oh, Hubbard. Oh, Hubbard. Oh, Hubbard. Can we just? You need to put Andrew Thomas out there hurt. I don't care if you put Andrew Thomas out there in a fucking wheelchair. That's what you need to do, because he would still be the best offensive line. And JMS, it's been 3 years. It's been 30 games or whatever it is. It's over. We're done. We're done. It's over. Please stop. But we don't have another true center, so we can't really do anything. We have an undersized center who is going to get killed against KC. You think you can't run? And poor Tyrone Tracy could get nothing generated, could get nothing going. But somehow, like I said, I am Mr. Negativity. Even though everything I said that was going to happen, happened. Even though everything I said the Washington Commanders should do, they did. And it's hit the like button, guys. And it's not rocket science to figure out how to beat the Giants. It's not. I thought there was a shot. I knew that, and I don't know why I'm so upset, because I assumed they were going to lose. Like I said, I took them to win because, maybe it was just a fan thing, but I assumed they were going to lose. And I thought they would win in Dallas. But Dallas now needs, no, we don't need turbo. We don't need turbo. Here's the other thing. Devin Singletary has 2 nice runs back to back. And then what do? You don't run them again? We're like, we're done. No, you're good. Sit down. Have a seat. And then you try to run the play to Marcus Bowe. What the hell was that? Literally, what the hell was that? You try to run this shit to Bowe. Just punch it in. Oh, we can't. So for the people that are calling for Jaxson Dart, please stop. For the love of God, he's not ready. He's yet to see a thank you, Big Blue for Life. I did call it. He's not ready to go up against an NFL caliber defense. And even without Parsons, yes, their secondary last year was injured, but they have a pretty good secondary in Dallas. And you thought, and like I said, we thought we can contain the aging defensive linemen of the Washington Commanders. If we couldn't tame the Commanders, we're not going to be able to stop Dallas. You're not going to be able to stop KC. If you want to take your rookie quarterback and get him killed, put him behind the offensive line. Let's have a David Carr effect. You want to knock the pretty boy looks off him? Yeah. Put him in against KC. Put him in against Spagnuolo and KC. Put him in Dallas versus Dallas. And I don't even know why I'm so upset. I really don't. I don't know why I'm so upset. Because I knew it was going to happen. Kept saying this is a 5-win team. I keep saying that. I knew it was going to happen. We knew it was going to happen. It's not like we did not know this wasn't going to happen. Maybe it's the euphoria of the start of the season. Thank God I got the Packers. Maybe it's that euphoria. The Giant football is back. I've been a fan since 76. I grew up in the Meadowlands. Still a season ticket holder at every home game. Travel a lot with the team. And I don't know why. I don't know why anymore. I wish I could tell you. I literally wish I could tell you why. But at the end of the day, when you look at this from a football perspective, and it's only week 1, guys. It's only... like Jamal, pick number 1, baby. It's only week 1. It's only week 1. Yeah, we can get Sellers out of South Carolina. That's for you, Greg. And it could improve. But when you see the deficiencies on defense, and I kept saying this over and over again, you have, and I've been saying this for years, you have a collection of talent you do not have a team. You have a collection of talent. We are a cut and paste team, and I've been saying this since training camp. We are a cut and paste team that the talent doesn't match the system, does not match our coaching staff. And you have a general manager who, in probably a year or two, his first two draft classes could totally be off off the Giant roster. So it's 22 wasted picks. So you go 7-2, 2-5-1, 6-11, 3-14. You have shown no real improvement. You've shown no blueprint. You've shown no ability to build a team. But John Mara is hanging on, and I don't understand why. Yeah, Micah Parsons, man, Micah Parsons, and I want to apologize. I'm going to send out an apology. I'm going to send out an apology to all Giant fans. And I feel like I need to do this. I'm going to send out an apology to all Giant fans that follow other content creators, all Giant fans that are on those toxic spaces, because the spaces on Twitter are just fucking toxic. And again, they're just a bunch of people want to hear themselves yell like me. Just they don't have the talent or the melodious radio voice. That built up this team so much during training camp, so much in the offseason, so much in the draft, and then basically fucking lied to you. Because they're doing it for the likes, the clicks, the bleeps, and the boops. They're doing it to turn around and have people on their shows. They're not doing it for you. One of the things I could truly say about this channel is I do it for Giant fans. True Giant fans that understand football and watch football. True football fans. Omar, I'm with you. Fire Dable. Bring in John. I love John Gruden. Even though John Gruden fired me. I love John Gruden. Well, he actually didn't fire me. The organization fired me. I shouldn't say that. Just because they went 7-9 and 6-11, they thought it was my fault. No, it was my fault. I was fired by the I was fired by the front office, not by John Gruden. Actually, I was fired by the business office. That's the whole story. So I still love John Gruden, even though he yelled at me all the time. But I apologize for them. They gave you this false hope. They built up this scenario like they do every year. And now they want to come out and be like, oh, yeah, we're going to complain now. Well, where was your pussy asses before all this? But no, some of us just have to stand alone. And then you want to join the people that stood there by themselves, and you want to sit there and say, well, we're mad now. How could you not see this? Said it before.
The ability to speak does not make you intelligent. Now get out of here.
So that's what we're going to say to them. Can this be fixed? No. No. Just can't be fixed. Can they get better? Yes. Yes, they can get better. Can it be fixed? No. Not this season. Can it get better? Yes, it can get better. They can, they could still potentially win 5 games. They could potentially still win 6 games because you never know. Every game, every week is a different week. And I've said this on the stream yesterday. This season for the Giants literally is going to be a week for week season, because you are going to have to really take a look at each individual opponent. And I know you do this already. And you are going to have to sit there and figure out how you can beat these people, how you can beat anyone. That's what you're going to have to do. Plain and simple. And it's just what it's going to be. You have to focus that way. And to all the 170 people that are watching this right now, just remember, when you are out there spewing the Giant truth, just remember,
there isn't anything for you here. I have men at my back, and you stand alone and defy me. I'm not alone.
You're not alone. Because I'm here, and I will stand with you, because you are an intelligent fan and you get it. So go unsubscribe to every other idiot content creator that sat there and blew smoke up your ass about week 1. And fuck their apologies, because you know what? It meant shit, because now they only did it to get people to follow and like, and now they're only going the opposite direction. Why? To get people to follow and like. I'm probably the only moron that tells people not to follow. Daryl. Yo, Tim, it's been, Daryl has been a while. I just saw Daryl was a while. I caught a live. I think it's an organizational problem. We haven't been able to build a proper offense since 2018 and a proper defense since 2016. I don't think it's just an organizational problem. I think it's a fundamental flaw on how they perceive football. We've talked about this before. John Mara, after the miracle in the Meadowlands, basically stepped away. He said, John Mara was so involved. Wellington Mara was so involved with the Giants that he stepped away after the miracle in the Meadowlands, after Herm Edwards took that in for the touchdown. He stepped away. He said, I'm going to turn this over to football guys. The Knicks, James Dolan has done the same thing. He did it with Pat Riley. He has stepped away and said, I'm going to let my basketball guys run this organization. And I'm going to look smart and take all the credit. I think the problem is John Mara still thinks he's George House. John Mara thinks he's Jerry Jones. John Mara needs to just clear house of all the yes men and walk away and say, I am done. Get football guys in here and do it right. EBR says the best. Clean the house, start from scratch, hire people from outside to hire the front office. Yeah. Get rid of your capologist, because when you have to restructure Andrew Thomas's contract before 8/20 on Thursday of last week because you're negative $9 million in the hole before the season starts, you got a problem. Yes, and I love people like, well, we don't have any dead cap space. We don't have any dead cap space next year. Great. We don't have any dead cap space week 1 of this year for next year. What the fuck does that mean? Seriously, what does that mean? Greg Butler said, Greg said, my little brother went to USF in Georgia, got into a big fight with him yesterday about Beck. Well, that's not Giant related. Come on, that's not Giant related. Omar says, Wash O-line was getting tossed Carter around like he was nothing. Washington, they did. Yeah, he had the half a sack, and he's going to use his speed, but he should only play about 30-40% of the snaps. Said that's the day we drafted him. You had a guy who his second season as a starting off-the-ball linebacker missed almost 26% of his tackles and only had 40 tackles. People always says, well, he's better than Parsons. Look at his Parsons had 81 tackles his freshman season at Penn State without even starting the game and led the team. Abdul Carter had 2 seasons, barely had 80 tackles, and he probably would have been a 3rd to a 5th round pick, if even later, if he did not get moved to defensive end because of Penn State lost a guy in the 1st round and the 3rd round on the defensive line. He's going to use his speed. He's going to use his quickness, but you got to pick your shot. He's not a guy that you can have on the field 78%, 80% of the snaps, because you are going off smart offensive coordinator, a smart quarterback, a professional quarterback is going to pick on him and run right at him. And if you see him on the left side, you know he's probably not going to drop back into coverage. What do? You roll out to the right. It's not that difficult. Trade Mara. Okay. I'm done. Robert also says Mara is hanging on because he knows he isn't able to hire anyone remotely competent. It's almost like you wish the NFL would just come in and say, hey, listen. We got to take this over. We have to do this. Jay Ferris says we need a deep rebuild in the offensive line at minimum. Well, you went out and got Marcus Bowe and you basically ignored the offensive line when you knew your star left tackle was coming back from a surgery that some people take over a year to come back from. Some people come back a lot sooner. Sometimes it takes people. Sometimes this is a career-ending injury. So did you decide to fix this? Nope. Not going to do that. Tim is the man of the swamp people. Yes, we are. I keep hearkening back to, we are the Legion of Doom here. From the old Superman cartoons, the Hall of Justice. We are.
Welcome to another edition of Thunderdome.
We are Thunderdome and proud of it. Get a GM from the Niners, the Ravens, or the Eagles. Can we just kidnap Howie? Can we just kidnap Howie? I don't live that far from Philly. We can get a panel van. And it's a joke. I'm not going to kidnap Howie. Maybe. Preseason is meaningless. We talked about that. We talked about how Detroit Lions went 4-0 one year. Then they proceeded to go 0-16. Jay Farrer says, content creators talking playoffs and fans ate it up again. It's a scam. It's a scam and a sham because people are doing it to be popular. I always love people want to be famous and recognized and known. I've already told, I've had a conversation before I got on with James Williams saying I am Clint Eastwood in Gran Torino.
Get off my lawn.
I just want to be left alone. I never want to leave my house. That's why I built a bar. I built a bar in my house. I built a Wawa in my house. I got a movie room. I got a gym. I'm good. I never have to fucking leave. Todd says, we are going to be playing an 0-2 Chiefs team in prime time. It's going to hurt. It might. Yeah. Love for you. What's up, love for you, NV, Nevada? It can be fixed in 3 years, hopefully. People ask me when we signed the Daniel Jones, and don't talk to me about Daniel Jones, for the love of God. He's not on this team anymore. And I love it because, yeah, they had a great first half against a really bad Dolphin team, and then the offense went in the tank in the second half. But don't talk to me about Dan Jones because he's not here. I don't care. I love people like, well, yeah, but you're missing Daniel Jones now. No, I'm not. Not in the least bit. He's not here. So why am I going to miss him? I wished him well. I hope he succeeds in Indianapolis. I don't think he will, but I wish him well. Walla Walla says 3 to 5 wins max. Yep. Manuel says this regime will be done by the end of the season. Yeah, you're probably right. David said people are obsessed with the O-line. Remember, Andrew Thomas is out. The O-line needs time to learn to work together. Defensively has fundamental building problems. There's bigger issues right now. Here's the problem, David. Outside of Hubbard, the O-line's the same. There's no difference in the O-line. There's one player that's different, and he's the left tackle, and he kind of sucks. I love Darius Alexander. Everyone's like, Darius Alexander, he's going to be that running mate. Well, the problem with Darius Alexander is this. Oh, my God. What is this? Someone leaves $100 super chat, which means they probably are going to insult me. And I'm going to read it because of the fact that all super chats go to the Philadelphia Children's Hospital. So, Gregory, thank you for the super chat in the Philadelphia Children's Hospital. I've been watching you for years, and in that time, I've disagreed with you on the takes for DJ, Saquon, Barkley, McKinney. Oh, shit. All right, I'm actually a little stunned. Someone apologize. Gregory, I've been watching you for years, and at that time, I've disagreed with your takes on DJ, Saquon, McKinney. I'd like to issue an apology. I'm truly sorry. You should be more respected around the majority of the fan base. You were right about everything for years. Wow. I'm taking a screenshot. I'm taking a screenshot of that one. Wow, Gregory, you actually just, Gregory, anytime I want to quit, I'm going to read that. And again, like I said, I do appreciate the $100 super chat because all super chats go to the Philadelphia Children's Hospital. So that wow. All right. Gregory says I couldn't add it, but I'm a dumbass that should have seen this sooner. No, but that was you literally Gregory. I have to admit, I'm not easy to stun, and I'm not and it's not even the super chat. It's the apology. I'm not easy to make speechless, and that Gregory, email me at tim@onlineBigBlue.com. That's tim@onlineBigBlue.com. I'd like to send you a replica Eli Manning Super Bowl ring and an Online Big Blue t-shirt. So just make sure you email me at tim@onlineBigBlue.com. I'm gonna, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put it in a banner for you. So this way you can, if you don't have a pen, you can just screenshot it. So here you go, Tim at onlinebigblue.com. Here we go. So there you go, Gregory. Email me, and I'm going to send you a Eli Manning replica Super Bowl ring. There you go. There you go. Yeah. Okay. Mad respect for Gregory. I am more mad respect for Gregory because of the fact that that is probably one of the most sincerest apologies that I think we've ever had in this channel. And Gregory, fuck you, man. I was thinking of quitting. And someone does something nice, and you got to stay. Everyone said, thanks, Gregory. Okay, now I'm confused. OGR Sports knows. I don't handle compliments well. OGR Sports, have you seen the worst drafter than Joe Shane? I think he makes Dave look competent. Go look up Andy Robustelli. And then come back to me with that. What? Mr. What says, Tim, my apologies to you, bro. You are right about this team. Stream's over. Everyone get the fuck out. What is going on? Everyone leave. Go watch Chat Sports. Walla Walla Wallace is as good as Thomas is when he is on the field, and the fact that he's consistently injured and the Giants did nothing about it makes me happy. I'm not watching games this year. Oh, look, we got a super chat from Walla Walla Walla. I mean, we got a super chat from Greg. Let's just read this again. I've been watching for years, and at that time, I've disagreed with your takes on DJ, Saquon, McKinney, and I've had issues and an apology. I'm truly sorry. You should be respected among the majority of the fan base. You are right about everything for years. I'm just going to keep reading that. That's going to be the rest of the show. All right, everyone leave. This is the rest of the show now. All right, what do we say? James Stein, what's up, Big James? The Giants' upper management needs to be replaced as well. I believe the Giants fans need to force Mara and Tish to sell. Well, they already sold 10% of the team to ownership group who put a winning team on the field. Yeah, I don't disagree. Damn the man, you're acting like Shane Ball's dodging accountability. Jamal says Carter needs to get stronger and develop he's built. Abdul Carter, and I'm going to keep saying this over and over again, is Bryce Huff. He is Bryce Huff. Bryce Huff had, 10.5 sacks that one season with the Jets. He can get after the quarterback. You can use him in situations where you can physically create mismatches with him, and you can use that to your advantage. But he is not a guy that can consistently be on the field. And I keep telling people, there was a player back in the early, I guess it was back in the 80s or 90s, or late 80s. Number one overall draft pick, Andre Bruce out of Auburn. This guy, of course, was going to be the next Lawrence Taylor. It was a bad draft, though, so we probably shouldn't have gone first overall. He was a speed rusher, but he was still 6'5", 270 pounds. While his career never meant to anything outside of 32 tackles and 275 tackles and 32 sacks. He was a guy that never should have been taken at the position that he was because he was not a complete player, even though he had the size, speed, and strength. This guy, Abdul Carter, does not have the size and speed. The speed. It has the speed. I should rephrase it. He does not have. I'm flustered now. He does not have the strength and the body type. Jaxson Dart looks bigger than him. And he should be like a 40% snap count guy because offenses and smart offensive coordinators are going to take advantage of him when he is on the field. Use him for his speed, use him to rush the passer, use him on kicks, do things such as that, and he will excel. I still think he can be a guy that gets 10.5, 12 sacks. But I also think of a guy that maybe is going to get you 30 tackles. Which is fine. Know what you have. Here's the thing. You took the kid 3rd overall. You should have traded down. You should have got Ty Warren. Let's be honest. You get Ty Warren on this team. Yesterday is a little bit of a different story because Theo Johnson drops 2 easy catches for first downs. You get Ty Warren on this team, you create an ability to move the middle of the field. You create a seam on the edge. You take that over to the top safety help, which planted themselves on Malik Neighbors, and you bring them over to cover the tight end. You're creating one-on-one coverage. And here's the problem with Malik Neighbors real quick in a nutshell. Darius Slayton basically got no attention yesterday. And I was talking to James Williams about this. And there was a reason. And there's a reason and rationale if you watch the game. Marcus Lattimore, for the majority of the time, was on Darius Slayton. You would assume that Marcus Lattimore would be on Malik Neighbors and not a rookie. Why did they have Amos, the rookie, majority of the time on Malik Neighbors? Because he had over-the-top safety help. If you have a competent tight end and you open up the middle of the field, you open up the running game. You have someone like Ty Warren who still had 6 catches for 70-plus yards, even though the Indianapolis offense went in the tank in the second half. You are creating a mismatch. You are drawing that coverage away from your star player and creating an opportunity to go one-on-one. When do the flyover messages start? I would like to donate. No more flyover messages. They do nothing. They do nothing. And we talked about this for people that wondered why last year, the last game of the season, they didn't have a flyover message. I have friends that are pilots, and it's called CAVU, and it's ceiling achieved, visibility unlimited. You have to have a certain level or a certain CAVU in reference to being able to fly these planes. And there was a high cloud cover, or I should say low cloud cover, which prevented the CAVU from happening and having them be able to fly the banner. You not only learn about giants here, you learn about CAVU, ceiling achieved, visibility unlimited. Actually, I should rephrase that. He is not a pilot. He is a former aviator. I already have to say that because he's already texted me. He is a former aviator.
This is Ghost Rider requesting a flyby.
Negative, Ghost Rider. The pattern is full.
Oh, no, we got Deb with a super chat. Hopefully that's going to be another apology. No, I'm just kidding, Deb. Oh, let's see. Deb, what's going on with super chat? All super chats, of course, go to the Philadelphia Children's Hospital. I love saying that. All I can say is thanks for being real. It took me a bit to see it. Love that this goes to the kids. Oh, yeah, I'm not Bill Gates and I'm not Elon Musk, but I retired 14 years ago. So I retired in my early 40s. So, I consider myself lucky that I'm able to do this show and I'm able to donate whatever money we make to the show to the Philadelphia Children's Hospital. So, so it's greatly. And Deb, I know you and I got into it a couple times early. We got into it a couple times. Nothing bad because, like I said, I don't shy away from people disagreeing. I think it makes for a better show. But you and I've had some differences of opinions early on, and I'm glad you stuck through it. I'm glad you stuck around. Sometimes this show's a little bit difficult to take, but you know what? I greatly appreciate everyone. And Deb, like I said, I greatly appreciate you coming in strong and everyone else and Gregory and everyone. I mean, it's freaking awesome, man. And like I said, I think it's a joy that I'm able and allowed to do this. You don't have to do that. I want to. I've been on your case for years thinking you were always negative, but you're right about everything. Gregory, I want to do that. It's not that I have to do that. I don't have to do anything. I'm an asshole. So when someone generally does something heartfelt and nice, I like to reciprocate. Because OGR Sports, who I hate, will tell you that I'm a softie. Gregory, you just great. Now he's done and the show is off the rails. Thanks a lot. Just joking. It takes a real person to admit they were wrong. Good on you. OGR was another one. OGR hated me. I never hated OGR, but OGR disliked me. I won him over with my massive charm. Now I don't know if he considers us friends, but I consider him a friend. So, but I consider OGR a friend, not just a friend of the show. I consider him a friend in general. I'm like Novocaine. Sometimes it takes some time. Just give me a little time. Let me work. Let me do my magic. And we're good. Thank you, Gregory. That was cool. Yes, everyone give Gregory a big shout out. But yes, Gregory, I know I don't have to, but I want to. So And honestly, I'd like to say it's like something difficult to do, but I got a ring guy. So I just type in your address and he emails out everything. He emails out everything for me. So I'd like to pretend that I'm like, it's gonna be real difficult to do. Gregory even says, even before the Shane days, this shit has been terrible for years. You're not wrong. Bobby says, some reason Jalen Hyatt was drafted. Same reason Jalen Hyatt saw no snaps yesterday. If you're not going to play the kid, just get rid of him. Why? You deserve more money, but I don't have it, lol. No, I greatly appreciate it. And I get paid, Believe and FanDuel and ZipRecruiter and all that fun stuff. So, I mean, like I said, I'm shocked that I'm shocked that we have sponsors. We had Mint Mobile for years. I'm shocked that I have sponsors. I'm shocked that I'm on Believe. Shocked by a lot of things. Oh, no, he's not Bryce Huff. He is Bryce Huff. And it's not a bad thing. Bryce Huff, if he would have stayed on the Jets and used properly, he could have been extremely successful. But he got greedy. Well, he didn't get greedy. I never fault people for taking the money. You take the money to go someplace else. You do it for a reason. I never feel people are greedy. So let's see here. Was Kayvon Thibodeau and Dexter Lawrence on the field? No. You have three guys that do the same thing. And listen, I give all the credit in the world to Brian Burns. I like Brian Burns. And I know we have the same. What about Brian Burns? I like Brian Burns because of the fact that he plays hard every snap. The one thing I can say about Kayvon Thibodeau, he doesn't. Brian Burns had 5 tackles, only 2 solos, 2 assists, and 2 tackles for a loss, and 2 quarterback hits. He is a guy that plays full speed all the time. Kayvon Thibodeau doesn't, who had 2 tackles and a half a sack and a tackle for a loss. He doesn't play full speed. He doesn't. And I like Brian Burns because he does. Abdul Carter, I love with 3 tackles. He had 1 solo and a half. And can we just get rid of Darius? Can we just find a linebacker? Could we draft a linebacker? Could we find a linebacker? Could we go to free agency and get a linebacker? Bobby Okereke had 16 tackles, but only 7 were solo, which means he had 9 assists, which means he was not leading the points of attack. Greg says, I'm usually optimistic about the Giants, but we've seen the offseason. I'm super negative. I knew this would happen. I'm not super negative. We just have to stay. We got to stay balanced. We have to harness our chi. We have to stay balanced. We have to focus. We have to focus, balance, use power. It's okay to lose the opponent, but not to fear. I don't know why I was watching Karate Kid yesterday. I have no clue. Tim is the greatest man of all time. He saves children from burning buildings and feeds the hungry in Africa. Yes, I'm also working on that cure for cancer. So we're going to, in my spare time. I can't figure out how to fucking fix my carburetor, though. Michael says, my wife suggested that I be a Bills fan after last night. Comeback win. I looked at her and said, sold. No, I'm just saying. And I said, like Miz. I got my Packers. I like my Packers. Team Money. It's Groundhog Day. It really is. Off Broadway. Dex was double teamed all day yesterday. It's like 2 guys combined, like Voltron to form a 4-legged forearm, 600-pound blocker. Here's the problem with him being double teamed all day. That means you have an open rusher or a free tackler. And the majority of the yards didn't come in the middle of the field. It came off tackle. Dear Lord, I still remember the play early in the first half when Jay Dale just runs past Brian Burns. Like I said, he's looking at him like, dude, come on, you can make it. Wyatt said, should have traded the 3rd overall pick for a pick and loaded. Oh, I don't know. I heard that somewhere before. You still could have traded that 3rd pick. Went down. You could have still taken Jaxson Dart if you really need him, but you also could have fixed and solidified parts of your team. I was saying this for years. Warren's going to be a beast. I watched Warren yesterday. I'm like, oh, dear Lord, I'm glad we don't have him. I'm glad he's on some other team and not ours. Gregory says, I wanted Hunter so much more than Carter. Travis Hunter would be a bust on this team. Because Travis Hunter, and I like Travis Hunter as a player. And I think Travis Hunter, in my mind, still should be more of a full-time corner. And I know he had some catches with Jackson, but I do think he should. The Giants would have misused him, and they would have misused his talent. And for a guy that slight of build, you're going to have to put him on somewhat of a pitch count. But I think, like I said, I think he was very proficient yesterday. Like I said, he had 6 catches for only 33 yards and on 8 targets, and people were going crazy. But he is a guy that, like I said, he only had 1 tackle, but he's a guy to me that can be a lockdown guy. And he would actually have made more sense than Abdul Carter if you were going to use him in the cornerback position, but you already had Paulson Adebo and Banks. It would make sense. It does make sense. Warren is going to be a top tight end in this league by the end of this. I think it might be a top tight end, Jay Ferris, by the end of by the end of the sentence. He is. Gregory says, I like him more at wide receiver, but what do I know at this point? Like I said, he has a proficiency for wide receiver, but I think his best position would be a lockdown corner. I mean, I would still use him once in a while. I would do the Charles Woodson at Michigan State and kind of use him sparingly at wide receiver, but use him to pick apart and take advantage of things. Let's see here. I will watch it. I'm a glutton for punishment. I want to see if the Giants can turn it around, but my confidence is very low. But hey, you never know. Stranger things happens on any given Sunday.
That's great.
Gotta get to work.
Because he's going to come in.
Yes. Come on. My name is Willie. I keep the ladies creaming and all my fans got screaming. You can defeat me. You're dreaming.
Don't forget, flex your chest. Use metrics. Great. So what does Robert say? This team needs a GM worth his salt who can clean up this mess and build a team the right way. Unfortunately, I don't think that's the kind of executive we want to hire and fix this shit show. Yeah. Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I wish I could say, Todd, what's up, Todd Taylor? How about flying a drone to drop diapers on the field? No, there's rules about the FFA and drones. Tim, when they eventually fire this fat useless sack of crap, would you want us to go after like a head coach like Cliff Kingsbury? I think Cliff Kingsbury is going to be like Joe Bugle. Joe Bugle, very proficient offensive line coach, offensive coordinator. He just was not a head coach. Cliff Kingsbury, to me, is better off if he wants to be a head coach, I think he'd be better off in college. And I think he could be a pretty good offensive. I think he will be a pretty good offensive coordinator. Like I said, we saw what happened with the Arizona Cardinals. I don't think that's an indication. I don't think he's a Pat Shurmur where he collapsed in Cleveland and then got the job. But I just think he's a better offensive coordinator. Deb is a Giant legend. I almost in almost every content creator chat. Great fan. Jay Ferris, you do the same thing. Tim, don't ever change. Oh, Michael, I'm never gonna fucking change. I'm an asshole through and through. And you know what? Sometimes we have to live with these things. Wyatt Ironstrong says, do you think Merrill will have some balls and fire Joe, Shane, and Dable when the Giants are 1-8? If he doesn't, then he's more than a moron than I think he is. I've said this before. If you're 1-8 and you're going and you lose that second Philly game, this team should be fired. Bust Theo Johnson, Jalen Hyde, bust Evan Neal, bust. It just goes on and on and on. And El Gigante says, love how people keep getting bamboozled. We are not a good team, and it starts with the coaching and the talent. Not wrong. I'm only nice to Tim because he offers free beers. I love it because when people go to the games with me, I never let people pay. Usually, when it comes to like drinks, I'm usually the first one with the money. Well, it's no longer money. You have to pay cards. I'm usually the first one with the card out. And I always tell people, you hang out with me, you just buy me a beer. I'll be your best friend. Gilliam is an awful punter. Yeah, he's not a directional punter. We saw that yesterday. Do you think we can trade Tibbs for an O-line piece? Oh, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough unless you have a team that's a defensive end away from being competitive, like a team like Green Bay. Oh, no, Green Bay got Parsons. No, not right now. We check in a couple weeks and we can see what happens. Dan the man says the biggest chair I let out yesterday was the intentional grounding penny at the end of the half. That's where we are. I know. I thought that was the greatest thing ever. I was like, great play, Giants. Oh, wait, we didn't do anything. It was the stupidity of the Commanders. Gregory says, once you get better coaching staff, we could be immensely better. I agree. Off Broadway say this team's identity. Answer coming up in 3, 2, 1. Garbage. Let's see. EC1 says, online Big Blue, your honest opinion, do you think we are better off with Tracy or have Saquon? Honest opinion, you should never get rid of Saquon Barkley. Would he have ever been the prolific 2,000-yard rusher behind this team, behind this line? No. But he is 100 times better than Tyrone Tracy. And I'm not defaulting Tyrone Tracy because Tyrone Tracy is a former wide receiver who was moved over to running back after his career in college, and it's his second year playing running back, so we have to wait and see what happens. But he's not going to be a good in-between the tackles guy. He's another speed guy that you're going to have to work on the outside. But when you have bad tackle play, it's kind of hard to go to the outside. So no, 100%. James says, Tim is the guy who tells the truth, even if you don't want to hear it. That's what makes his show great. Let's see here. They literally brought back the same offense at outside. The quarterback, the O-line is a joke. The O-line outside of Bo and Hubbard's the exact same. We did nothing. You brought in Cam Scatterbo, and I kept trying to explain to people repeatedly, it's not that I don't like Cam Scatterbo, but he lasted to 5th round for a reason. And like I said, people are just amazed by the fact, look at him bowl people. He didn't bowl anybody over. This is the best thing that Cam Scatterbo did. He didn't get knocked off his feet. He didn't bowl anyone over. He hit somebody. The guy still stood up, but Cam kept going forward. Hit someone again. The guy stood up, but he's not going. But the thing is this, he's not moving forward. Look at the play on that goal line. He's not moving forward. He's just putting his helmet down. And if he continues to lead with his helmet like that, he's going to get a penalty. And he's got to learn to keep his head up or he's just going to get wrecked. But in 2 carries, he has -3 yards. And then I love it because you would think that he had like 10 receptions for 100 yards. He had 2 receptions for 12 yards on 2 targets. And like I said, he catches the ball really nice. Really does. I think he's got, like I said, I think he's got great hands, but I don't know if he's going to be able to take the edge yet. I don't know. Haven't seen it. He did it in camp, but he did it in camp against our defense. Didn't do it against the Jets in camp because he was hurt. Shane, what's up, Big Greg? Shane is getting this year's consolation prize. Yeah, fired. Burns is from Florida State. I know he is. Wyatt says Burns doesn't mind playing. I like Brian Burns. People think I make fun of what about Brian Burns. I'm not making fun of Brian Burns because of that. And people think I make fun of him because I call him a ghost brother. He does. He disappears. Go back and look at the game logs going back to Carolina. Go back and look at the game logs last year. He'll have 3 sacks, 1 game, then he'll go 4 games without having a half a sack. He does it. He's Kayvon Thibodeau 2.0. Or Kayvon Thibodeau's Brian Burns 2.0. That's what he does, but he plays hard. He doesn't take plays off. And he is one of those guys that you want to root for. I can make fun of him. I made fun of
King of the almost sack.
And the misconception was I was making fun of Leonard Williams. No, I was making fun of the fans that told me about his 40-plus pressures, and even though he only had a half a sack, but they could never tell me what the pressures equated to. So, yeah, Stan, man, Thibodeau looked pathetic yesterday. He did. You go against a quality offensive line like Dallas still has, it's not going to be any better. Shane has so many draft misses, he needs to go. I agree. Gino, what says here? I would love if Shane and Daves were let go, but Brandon Brown was named the GM and get his own staff. Darius Alexander wasn't active. The big player, Darius Alexander, who everybody loved. He was going to be the running mate. And I kept telling people, undersized defensive end who was the 12th defensive end taken in the draft. And his best ability is to rush the passer. But again, I have no clue what I'm talking about. Joe G said the Giants are the whole looked out of shape and unprepared. You know, it's funny. When I was talking to James before the show, he was like, well, they're going to have better chance to prepare for Dallas and this. And I said, I told James, you had 4 months to prepare for Washington. And you still come out flat every season. This team, it did have more life. Early on, but then they kind of got deflated. And there's a lot of personalities on this team that you just don't like. And it's a lot of me personalities. And we heard the comment, the disease of me. There's a lot of me personalities. There's not a lot of team personalities on this locker room. And there's not a lot of leadership. There's not a Harry Carson. There's not a Phil Simms. There's not an Eli Manning. There's not a Michael Strahan. There's not an Antonio Pierce. There's not a guy that can kind of be a locker room guy here and just be this boisterous guy that steps up and kind of corrals everyone together and says, we got to get rid of the me attitude and think of this as a team. And that's why I get mad at certain Giant content creators and other people. And they're like, well, you only played him 38% of the snaps. Well, you know what? Abdul Carter there in the second half. Well, that made sense for the team. You are thinking that Abdul Carter is going to play well by giving him more snaps, but the coaching staff is seeing that he is getting burned. He is getting beat. He is getting pushed around. Use his ability to make his speed an asset and not a detriment. Off Broadway says, Tim, I think Bobby Okereke is handicapped by the Bowen system. I don't think he's handicapped by it. I don't think he's handicapped by it. I think he just is the player that he really always was in Indianapolis. He was a really good player on a bad team, and he is again one of the best tacklers we have on a bad team. I will give the Giants, and I have to give the Commanders the same flowers. Tackling much better. The Commanders' biggest issue last year was tackling. They were wrapping up. I love the body slam. I got to admit, I know it was on one. I love the body slam. I don't think that should have been a penalty, but I love the body slam. Giants, same way, though. Even McFadden, before he got hurt, and we have to wait and see exactly. Evidently, the X-rays were negative for a break. We're going to have to do an MRI. But even the Giants, much better tackling. Much better, much proficient tackling. Just problem was you can't do it 10 yards down the field. I'm just gonna throw that out there. There was a person that I liked. I reposted their post. Everything okay? Everything's fine. Thanks for asking. There was a person. That out wait a minute. There was a person. Hold on here. Who was this? There was a content creator that had a smart post, and I reposted it. And I don't remember who it was. Now I got to go back and look. And it was about the Giants defense. It was, ladies and gentlemen, I present you the worst second down defensive performance ever. The Giants on 10 different instances had the Commanders on 2nd and 10 or longer. The Commanders averaged 15 yards on those plays. And I thought that really kind of broke down. Justin Pennock was the one that I see when I do bad Twitter posts. This was a good Twitter post, but he was right. It was almost like it didn't matter the down and distance that the Giants were in. It didn't matter. It truly didn't matter. And you're right. It just seemed like they would get a negative play and then give up like 15 yards on a 2nd and 10. Robert says it's not being negative, it's being realistic. So what happened to McFadden? McFadden I think it's going to be a hyperextended knee. Because of the fact that it was a non-contact injury. It doesn't look like it was a turf injury. It kind of just looked like sometimes when you're going for the tackle, and I can tell you this firsthand, when you're going for the tackle and you wrap up, it's the initial inertia of you grabbing onto the player and being moved forward that sometimes your lower extremities extend. So I'm hoping it's a hyperextended knee. That's what my hope is. Jay Ferris says we need a strong head coach and not a yes man coming from promotion. I agree. Christian said, I want the Giants to look competent and competitive. Tired of watching this clown show every Sunday. Holland looking like he could be cooked. Yeah. I'm not going. Holland looked pretty bad at parts of training camp, but then he started looking better. So I'm not giving up on anybody yet. Emanuel, you wanted to come on. Here, I'll put the link in the chat, Emanuel. But yeah, he didn't look good. There was times Tyler Nubin didn't look good. Whole secondary didn't look good in general at times. So, I mean, I think, yeah, there's a problem there. Let's see here. James says, Tim's tells you the truth. Even if you don't want to hear it, that's why I listen to all of his streams. I disagree, but this guy is good. I want people to disagree. it's better to disagree and have a good content and then have an intelligent conversation. Dan, what's up, Big L Gigante? Dan Quinn's second year, and the Commanders look so composed, light years ahead of the Giants. Yes, the Commanders actually look like a playoff team. They look like a composed, veteran-driven, old team, and they look like they got their shit together. And they were like Nova King. Herbologist. Yo, Tim, Blue Nation, talk me off the ledge. Jump. Oh, I mean, sorry. Because there's a net there. We're there. There's no talking. It's week 1. Listen, this all can be turned around next week. Do I think it will? No. But it could all be turned around. You're going to start Jaxson Dart? No. It could all be turned around next week. It could. You could fix some of these problems. And Dallas has deficiencies. I'm not going to go through it now because we're still going to go there, but Dallas has deficiencies that we can take advantage of, and we'll talk about it. There's a realistic chance this team's going to go 0-9. Yes, there is. Walla Walla, yes, there is. Jay Ferris says, sweet. Paid top if the market to a safety coming on off his worst season. Oh, well, you got to give Joe credit. Because it's also not like he paid a corner coming off a complete break of his lower leg, which some people never return full strength from. It's not like we gave that guy $54 million, 36 guaranteed, where most people in the league told you would probably get a 2-year, $20 million deal with $10 million guaranteed in a second year out. But don't worry, we're okay for a system he doesn't fit in. Kafka sucks. Bowen sucks. Blah. Yeah, what EC1 says, yeah, need a running back. Barkley with your offense could help Russell Wilson. Just pass blocking in the backfield is a huge loss to the G-men. He had problems blocking when Barkley was here, but he was a guy that also, like I said, he was a guy that actually looked good. The Saints looked miles better than us yesterday, and it takes Kellen Moore's first game ever as the Saints actually did look good. And Spencer Rattler actually, I'm not a big fan of Spencer Rattler, and I've talked about that before, but the dude does have a very quick release. I don't think he's an NFL starting quarterback, but he was 27 for 46 for 241. He was also a guy that only took 1 sack and didn't turn the ball over, but he also kept it Kellen Moore actually kept it a very simplistic offense. He only averages 4.7 yards a reception. So, here we go. Here we go. I'm calling him Philosophy Stoner. Yeah, I know what the name is, but I just it's what I want to do.
What up?
What's up, Mr. Philosopher?
Chilling, man. Watched the game yesterday. Well, not the whole game, because
I got through the first quarter and I was good.
Yeah, I got into like the fourth quarter. I think when the Commanders scored again, I was like, oh man, I can't watch this anymore. But
you kind of knew that if they scored again, it was going to be. I thought if they scored early again, even as field goal, I knew it was over.
You said kind of. We scored 6 points, man.
I'm trying to be positive.
It's like, bro, 6 point. We couldn't score a touchdown. Jesus. But yeah, man, I saw a lot of stuff that I found really interesting and just didn't make any sense. It just boggled the mind. Like, let me start with Wan'Dale Robinson as a kick returner.
I don't even want to get into that.
Like, what?
Yeah, I don't. It's not like, you know what? If you would put Jalen Hyatt back there, I would be like, okay. I could see it because of his speed, but putting Wan'Dale, but nope. Go ahead.
Okay, I have so many that it's insane. Jamie Gillen, the punter, was the one who did the first kickoff instead of Gano. Why are we paying Gano the money?
Evidently, the Giants leading up to this week had a second kicker in the building. So I'm assuming, and for some reason on Friday, Gano was kicking with a tennis shoe. So I'm assuming Gano may have some issue with his foot that they don't want to completely every time use him on kickoffs, because that's where you're going to use the most power, is going to be on the kickoff with your foot. So I do think there might be an injury issue somewhere underlying there.
Oh my God. That's pretty bad too, because we just signed him to an extension like a year ago, right?
Yeah, 2 years ago.
2 years ago. Jesus. Yeah. Anyways, Uh, okay, the kids keep coming. So then you have Dexter Lawrence, who, and this is one of my biggest concerns. So Dexter Lawrence barely, if at all, I don't know. He didn't play at all during the preseason, right? He didn't play at all.
He did not play at all. No.
Right. So this is the first time we see Dexter Lawrence after a very bad elbow injury, I believe.
Yeah, he got hurt last year. Yeah, he missed
Right.
the last 4 games, I believe it was.
And it was like he wasn't even in the game. I didn't see him do anything. And he's supposed to be the anchor of the entire defense.
He's Aaron Donald.
It's like, yo, this is okay. Let's keep going. So then,
I like it because I don't have to do any talking. This is great.
Oh man, there's so many. So then you also have our linebackers or lack thereof. So let's start with
wait. We have linebackers?
So let's start with the inside linebackers. Okay. So first let's go from like best to worst, which is crazy to say this, but Michael McFadden at this point might be our best linebacker in this system because Okereke looks terrible. He looked terrible yesterday. So many missed tackles.
Well, he did
out of position.
People will tell you at 16 tackles, but then of course I'm Mr. Negative. I'm going to tell you that only 7 of them were solo. So that means 9 of them were assists. So you're right. He was not on the ball at that. He was not on the ball at the point of attack.
Yeah, and they have a saying about stats. They say stats are for nerds. You know, if you watch the game, I mean, if you have 2 eyes, you don't have to know football. Like he was trash. It was bad, and I like Bobby Okereke.
I do too.
So I'm like, damn, dude, I want to see. Anyways, so then you have Micah, who's our best run defender, gets hurt like immediately, and Darius Masau comes in, and this dude is so unathletic. Like he's just so like it's sad to watch him on that field.
I've only said that since the day we drafted him.
It's like, bro, and we have no one else who is probably better than Darius Masau.
You have what's his name, Chris Board.
Oh my God, no,
the special teamer from Baltimore.
Oh my God, and then Jeremy Fowles Flanagan or something like that.
Yep.
Anyways, I don't even want to touch those.
Well, the problem is we're listing Bobby Okereke, Brian Burns, and Abdul Carter as linebackers. So
no, I just said our inside linebacker.
I'm just telling you where they're going with the linebacker thought process.
Oh, okay. So then if you want to go by that route, then our outside linebackers, quote unquote,
are terrible. 32 carries for 220 yards.
Right. And this is the saddest part about this whole thing is going into this game, I'm like, oh, you know what? We might have a chance because they don't have that good of a run game and we have a really good pass rush. So if we can like just stop this not that good of a run game, you know, because they don't even have Brian Robinson anymore, then maybe we could win.
No.
I was wrong.
No. I predicted them to win, and I love when people on Twitter were like, "Are you just saying that because you're for it because the season started?" I'm like, "Yeah, probably." Because they were like 2 weeks ago, you said we were going to lose by 35.
Hey, I think the best flavor of Kool-Aid at this point might be blue. I'm gonna just keep it with you know.
I agree, man. We got to add an Emanuel. I have not seen Emanuel, a friend of the show forever. And I haven't seen you. I haven't seen you forever.
I know. I've been living life.
Living life.
This bad team that decides to go on the field every Sunday. So it's bad. How you doing, Tim?
Well, just remember, Emmanuel, sometimes it's going to be Thursday and sometimes it's going to be Saturday.
I got you. That's cool.
It won't just be bad every Sunday. You're going to get a break on Sundays.
I don't even know if I want to watch next week, if I got to be completely honest. I'm sick of looking at the same thing every. How long have we been in MetLife now? 15 years? Is it 15 years now?
Has it been that long?
I think it's been 15 years since we've been in MetLife, and I'm only 26. I've yet to see this team put it together. It's like I hate it. They make me not want to watch football because I can't watch other teams do good or half decent, and then I have to compare it to my team every week, and it looks like we're pulling teeth on offense. The defense shows up sometimes, but then at a certain point, it's like the defense you only can do but so much. You can't, and it's like we need to start having these conversations of Daboll's not the guy. I hate to break it to you. He's not the guy. Josh Allen has made this man. I don't know if you guys see it yet or what.
We've talked about it a million times. He's gotten fired from he got fired by his mentor. He got fired in every NFL stop since he's been in the league outside of Josh Allen.
I don't get it, right? They say we made improvements. This offense is going to look different. Oh, Russell Wilson's moonball. How many moonballs did you see yesterday?
Well, it's kind of hard to throw in the moonball when you're lying on your ass.
Yeah, so it's like
everyone, and this is the thing about Russell Wilson. Everyone's blaming Russell Wilson. Start Jaxson, start Russell Wilson. He's old. I kept telling people, you got a 37-year-old Russell Wilson. You don't have a 22-year-old. I've been saying that since the day we signed him. But the problem wasn't Russell Wilson. The problem is if you are going to take a deep shot, you need at least 4 seconds.
Yeah,
and this guy will get nailed a second and a half after he takes the snap.
My biggest pet peeve, right? And can we please stop with Wan'Dale Robinson? I've seen Wan'Dale Robinson get targets like this man is the next Victor Cruz.
Like,
and it's
very right.
This man is 5'8". Like, no disrespect to him. He is a football player. I can't do it. He can do it. He cannot be a focal point. He's a great piece to have if you have a great wide receiver too. And the Malik Neighbors, that's great. But we target him way too much. I seen on countless occasions yesterday, this Wan'Dale flat route, this Wan'Dale 5 and out. Why is Wan'Dale Robinson running the corner route? What are we doing? I'm sick of it. I don't need him to resign. I agree that it's good that he's there.
To Wan'Dale's, I'm not going to say defense, but to the Giants' defense in this, if you're good, they used Wan'Dale Robinson once or twice the right way. This is a guy that should be in the backfield. We've said this before. He should be a Darren Sproles. He doesn't have Darren Sproles' elusiveness or speed, but he should be a Darren Sproles type player where you put him in the backfield. You hand off. He took handoffs the first year he was here. All of a sudden, now he doesn't know how to run. Now we don't run him out of the backfield. Bring him in the backfield. Use him as a third down back. Teams are going to figure out that when he's in the game, he's probably not going to be a blocker. But you put him in positions where he can excel, and running him out into a deep route is not where his money's going to be.
I think there's so many moving parts to this team being terrible. It's like, where do you start? Like it started. I think it starts from management. Obviously, Joe Shane
starts from ownership.
Yes, but we can't. That's something we can't immediately change. They're not going anywhere. So the next best thing is Joe Shane. So, all right, let's look at, you've talked about it countless of times. How many times have you talked about the draft and how he built this team? Where does the team start? The line, offensive and defensive. How much has Joe Shane put into this offensive line?
Well, tons. He's drafted tons. He just doesn't draft the right guys. But he does, to your point, though, you look at Philadelphia. How was Philadelphia built?
My point.
I mean, that you look at some ways, even places like Baltimore and not Kansas City anymore, because Kansas City's offensive line is suspect, but their defensive line isn't. You build through the trenches.
It's like our best offensive lineman that doesn't play, by the way. We need to have that conversation too. We might have to start looking past him because he can't stay healthy. But our best offensive person was drafted by David Gettleman. And right now, David Gettleman is looking like he was right on every pick. That's how bad Joe Shane has been. Daniel Jones, I had to sit and watch Daniel Jones.
It was a good weekend for Gettleman, a bad weekend for Shane.
I watched Daniel Jones just look abnormal. 181 yards in the first half and a touchdown. We can't get that in the whole game.
But if you go, and I'm not faulting Daniel Jones, but if you take a look at that game, the team, the Colts, yes, they scored 13 points in the second half, but they kind of went into the tank a little bit with the passing game. They kind of knew, he only had 200 and he only had less than 100 yards in the second half.
That's all we usually got. Was less than 100 yards. So it's an improvement, but to the point of, okay, so Joe Shane has drafted Evan Neal, bust. Okay, everybody want Evan Neal. That's cool. We have to hang our hat on it. That's fine. He drafted Marcus Bowe.
Not everyone.
Okay, Tim.
not everyone. We're going to be honest. Not everyone did.
Not everyone.
I wanted Kayvon Thibodeau and what's his name, White, the linebacker.
I really wanted Sauce, but I think Sauce went before.
He went before.
He went before. So, but okay, Evan Neal, Bowe, JMS. I don't need to see him anymore. I swear I don't. I've seen enough. Joshi Zudu, who you just magically decided to, maybe he's better at guard than left tackle. Yeah, you stop forcing players and
now he's hurt. He's hurt.
Now he's hurt. Marcus McKeithen, who we cut 2 years ago.
Yep.
Right. Okay, and then all right. So some people aren't good at drafting linemen. Howie Roseman isn't good at drafting outside of the first or second round. Cool. What does he do? He circumvents that by buying good players, right? But when they got Devontae Smith, they also added AJ Brown, a bona fide number one. If you can't draft, that is what free agency is for. That I don't understand. They make it seem like the science to it is like, no, this guy's gonna progress. You know what a player is by year 2 going into 3.
Yeah,
we knew Evan Neal was blocking his own players, and we wear the same color. So if that doesn't tell you he's not going to progress, I don't know what will. Right?
Hold that thought, Greg. Listen, there's 160 people watching and on the Twitter, not the Twitter, YouTube. I got 67 likes. We need like 100 likes. As many people are watching. We got another 100 watching on the other thing. So come on, people, hit the like button. It don't cost.
I'll come back on if you guys get it to 100.
Yeah, there you go.
I won't go back in hibernation.
But there is a fundamental flaw, and the Knicks had this problem. The Knicks had this problem with the Isaiah Thomas years. But there's a fundamental flaw with ownership, not figuring out a way to bring in football guys.
Yeah,
and guys that are just football guys that they live and breathe the sport, and they have to figure out a way to go forward that way.
Let me ask you this: do you think Dable and Joe Shane are aligned in their player personnel? I have a feeling they aren't.
I don't think they are.
Yeah, I have a feeling they aren't. I've had a feeling even back when they had Wink Martindale, Dable just let Wink do whatever on that defense because he knew nothing about it, and it was his first year. And I miss Wink to this day because that besides Patrick Graham, that's like one of the better defenses I've seen in the last 20 years of the Giants, or the last 15 years of the Giants, because that's when they were in MetLife. Right. I think that they're not aligned in that regard, but also I'm starting to see you don't need these gurus as head coaches. When you think of the best head coaches, most of the time when you think of Nick Sirianni, he doesn't call plays. This guy's a motivator. Dan Campbell, motivator. Now, granted, they lost yesterday, but a lot of these guys, these gurus, they don't pan out as of recently. And again, I still don't think Dable's an offensive guru because Josh Allen did what he did last night without him.
Josh Allen won an MVP when Dable left.
I think what this team needs is a veteran head coach to come in. I like a John Gruden who's a guru to his regard, but also a motivator and as a football guy, right? Like that. You
need, and this is what we don't understand. We need to me, the head coach should be the CEO.
Yeah,
the head coach should have his hands in everything. The head coach should be overseeing everything, and and this is kind of where I think Dable has a huge fault. He doesn't like commanding presence outside himself. That's why he didn't get along with Wink. He likes guys that are more vanilla, more plain, and aren't going to challenge what he has to say. And that's what he wants. And the problem is this: you're not going to succeed this way if you can't take criticism. You could dish out the criticism all you want, but if you can't take constructive criticism or have other people be in charge of something, then you're never going to succeed as a head coach.
I also think that he's too much of a player's coach at times, right? Because the outburst Malik Neighbors has, I don't care who he is. If you're the head coach of this team, that should never happen. You should be able to have your players should be disciplined enough to know, all right, I might be upset right now, but
Well,
this is bigger than me.
To not throw shade at Malik Neighbors or at Brian Dable, we don't know what happened.
That's true. That is also true.
We don't. It could have been something that Dable said. It could have been something happened somewhere. We have no, like when Dable threw the iPad at Daniel Jones, we all knew why.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I can't tell anyone what happened yet because I got no fucking clue. I
think it's because the offense looked the exact same as it did last year. And throw it to Wandale. Oh, by halftime, if we're down 20, all right, Malik Neighbors, you're up. Let's go see what you got.
Let's see what. And also, Malik Neighbors hasn't played, and let's be honest, he looked a little gassed.
He did
at the end of the game.
It's to the point like this is all built wrong, and we're just trying to build on top of this very shaky foundation, right? Like bringing them back for another year means that they're going to be here next year. That because you have a rookie quarterback, that is their golden ticket at the current moment. Whenever they decide to start Dart, which I think is going to be within the first month, because we're going 0-6. If you're looking at it, that's how I see it. We're going 0-6. The way our offense is playing and the way our defense isn't going to hold up against the run, it's going to get bad, and it's going to get bad fast. The fan base, we already know how they're going to go. They're going to clamor for Dart. Dable's going to finally cave. He's going to act like he's not going to cave, but then behind the scenes, we're going to get a Saturday morning report. Oh, Dart's starting on Sunday. Dart's going to start. He's not going to look good because the offensive line is terrible and the play calling is horrendous.
And he hasn't seen anything the NFL has to offer out yet outside of second team.
Dart's going to start. He's not going to look. You're going to hear at the end of the season. Well, we've seen a lot of progress, right? They like the wordplay a lot. We've seen a lot of progress. Progress where, right? Oh, we had a lot of young guys. That's because you keep getting rid of the veterans because they don't want to stay here because this whole thing stinks. It reeks of horribleness. So therefore, you're playing young guys. So you can't bring these next gen stats in to circumvent how bad you are. You can't. They're literally putting lipstick on a pig. And it's so bad. I'm tired of looking at next gen stats because I look at that game. Oh, we only lost 21. It's because of the Commanders, not us.
Oh, yeah. We didn't do the command. Like I said, he hits Deebo Samuels 2 inches the other way. That's 6. He hit there was another play. He hits him in stride and he doesn't kind of flutter it. That's another 6.
I'm looking at it. He has 7 receptions for 77 yards. This man is one cookie away from looking like the Pillsbury dope boy, and we let him get that many yards and a touchdown on top of that for this revamped defense, this front seven. Oh, Paulson Adebo. I seen Paulson Adebo in New Orleans. He did get beat. He just had a lot of picks. Cool. Cordell Flott. Did you see the first drive? They said, "Where is he at on the field?" No.
You got to get. We talked about this early. I don't know if you heard this. You got to give him credit. He had the nice stop on the first drive.
Yeah.
The second drive, he proceeded to give up passes back to back of 33 yards and 17.
That's how Cordell Flott always played, though. Like that's nothing new. Like that's why I said all we're seeing is none of this is new. This is all the same. This journeyman Chris Moore. I don't know if you guys know. Chris Moore has been on a numerous amount of teams. He's probably in his early or late 30s right now, catching passes on Cordell Flott. Bobby Okereke.
Chris Moore Chris Moore only had one reception. That was the 34-yard reception that that Flott gave up.
So then I'm thinking of Noah Brown, who had the next.
Noah Brown is actually a good third wide receiver. The big kid at Oklahoma State.
That and Bobby Okereke and this. I don't know what's going on with him. He looks cooked. Between the zone and Bobby Okereke just looking horrendous. I'm ready to throw the whole team away, Tim. If I gotta be completely honest, I don't want to see this anymore.
Well, Emanuel, we can't throw the whole team on. I'm gonna have to strap you off because I want to make sure that the Stone gets one more comment. I want to make sure I get to everyone in the checks. I got to get out of here in about 15 minutes. Cool. So don't be a stranger.
I will. I'll be back. You guys will hear from me after the Cowboys game. How about that?
All right, man. I appreciate you jumping on. It's been a while.
Yes, sir.
All right. What's your Mr. Philosopher? Drop your philosophy. It's,
Well, you know,
it's philosophy 101. Talk the fan base off the edge,
ooh.
or push them over.
All right. Well, you know, I hate to go doom and gloom, but you know,
That's
what
my
I'm
job.
gonna do is I'm gonna look at the forest through all of these trees that have been randomly placed in front of us, and what I see is this: what Shane and Dable's entire time in this office has been about is deflecting blame on their inadequacies, and
Yeah.
this has been every year has been something new. So I'm gonna go through each year. First year when we make the playoffs, but we don't win. What was the reason that they said? They said talent. We did not have enough talent,
That
right?
this was a foundational draft the first year.
Right. So they say, oh, we don't have enough talent. We got to keep building, but we got the foundation. And you re sign Daniel Jones. And then the season after that, Daniel Jones flops. And then you blame Daniel Jones, right? You
Yep.
blame Daniel Jones. You get rid of him. But see, the whole issue with Daniel Jones having a good game, even if it is against a super trash, super duper trash Miami defense,
Who traded away
they,
their best corner?
they have no corners now. And they traded him for Mika Fit. Anyways,
He gets
so,
attacked.
so you know, you're looking at that, but when you look at that in relation to what happened on Sunday, you're basically saying we think that Russell Wilson is better than Daniel Jones, but you put him in worse situations to be successful, and now you make him look stupid, us look stupid, the whole team looks stupid because Daniel Jones is over there balling out. They scored over 30 points, and we only scored 6. And it's because the team building is the problem. Your best players are all drafted from Gettleman.
Yeah.
You can't find talent and you can't build a team. And every time that you guys, and then when I say you guys, I'm talking about them,
Your
whenever
best
they find a
players
new
are all
person, whenever they find a new person to blame, they create a new hole in the team.
Yeah.
They've done it over and over and over. Because you had a great defensive coordinator, Wink Martindale, you get rid of him. Now you have a horrible defense coordinator and whose players are not built for a system.
No. Nope. We've talked about that. My friend, I'm gonna have to drop you off because I want to make sure I get to a lot of people in the chat before we leave in the next 15. So I appreciate you for coming on as you always do. You always drop in the knowledge.
Appreciate you.
And you know what, man? It's gotta get better, right?
That or get stoned. Peace.
I like it. I do like that, actually. Omar says Jaguars knew Abdul Carter was overrated. That's why they picked Travis Hunter. They could have. Ness says, Tim, do you really trust this regime to make the right picks on the offensive line? Time to clean it. No, I don't trust this. I don't trust this team to order food from DoorDash. So I'm gonna have to go with that. Are you really calling Abdul Carter overrated? Jaden Daniels doesn't suck. It's hard to sack him. Has nothing to do with sacking Jaden Daniels. Has to do with the fact that he can't play the run. He can't cover tight ends. He showed a propensity for missing tackles in college. It's not going to get better. I said it before, and I've said it a million times. I'm going to say it again. I understand the pick at 3. I think if you use him situationally, he can get 10 to 12 sacks, but he's also got potential bust written all over him. I've said it before the draft. I'm not going to all of a sudden change my thought process. Wait until Hunter goes over the middle and catches against Hamilton and the tackle Derrick Henry in the flat. Yeah, that's one of the reasons too. I agree with that 100%. B. Will says, what does the coach GM regime have to do to get fired? I can coach this team up to 0 touchdowns. Listen, I can be just as bad as a coach. Great. Travis Hunter doesn't tackle it. I know. I've said this before. Travis Hunter goes to the Deion Sanders School of Tackling. We should have hired Brian Flores. That's actually who I wanted. Or Eric Bieniemy. Blackbird says we are really in the red zone and ran a play with one action. We didn't even bother to run the ball on 3 straight plays because we did run the ball. And Cam Scattaboo got slammed backwards for a loss, a 1.5 yard loss. Let's see here. Iceberg said the Giants fucked up when they drafted Carter. Them LD Tays are over. They should have drafted Travis Hunter and said, listen, I'm not saying you don't draft Travis. I'm not saying you don't draft Abdul Carter. I already said I would have traded down. I would have traded back. I would have gotten a tight end. You could still picked up your quarterback. I would have got additional picks, and I would have helped go after the offensive line. Abdul Carter is a nice accessory at 3 if you're a good team, but if you think should play more than 40% of the snaps, you're going to be disappointed in this play. Go watch his first 2 seasons at Penn State, please. And then tell me, and I don't want to hear he had 24 tackles for losses. That is such a bogus and stupid stat. He didn't have 24 tackles for losses. In the college game, unlike the pros, the people that score college games, wait for it, count sacks as a tackle for a loss. So technically, they took 12 and a half of sacks and moved that also over to the tackle for loss column. Off Broadway, Mara fire Shane and Dable. Who will he come to New York, coach? I would take John Gruden. I would take John Gruden in a heartbeat. I wouldn't even think twice about John Gruden. You got to score points, and play good team defense. Yeah, we didn't do that yesterday. The Giants defense only did not look totally inept because of the Washington Commanders' issues on offense. They should have had 28 points in that first half. No, let's see, Tim, are we going to have a live studio? Tim, when are you going to have a live studio audience? We did that last year. We were at the Shannon Rose in Clifton, New Jersey. We did a whole stream from there. We're going to probably do it. I don't know if we're going to do it at Shannon Rose, but we're going to do another live event like that. So that was actually really fun. Skyline says, Dale and Shane get fired. What points of having Dart? We have no O-line. New staff would want their own quarterback. Yeah, we thought that when we hired Shane and Dable, and they kept Daniel Jones, so you can't even go by that. Made by Giants, a social media team is a huge problem. 2 days before the game, they are throwing rings over ravioli cans. Straight clown shit stuff. You're right. Darren says, O-line has been the biggest problem for the decade, and now yet to fix it. At no point in time, starting Dart is going to struggle because of it. Yeah, and he's going to run. The kid doesn't know how to slide, and he's going to get fucking killed. And he's going to fumble. Where are we at with the likes? We should be at 100. We still have 133 watching. Where are we at with the likes? 87. Come on, guys. 13 likes to 100. How hard is it? Watch this. I'm going to hit the like button. Well, if I had a screen up, I would hit the like button. Let's see here. The running back keeps running in the middle and getting stopped. You're right. Because the offensive line, you want to blame, everyone wants to blame Russell Wilson, but if you're going to run deep shots, you're going to throw a moon ball. You got to protect. You can't throw a moon ball with less than 2 seconds to throw. So I take solace in the fact with the Giants defense that they all of a Giants offense that they couldn't figure out, hey, listen, why are we taking deep shots when we can't block? Tibbs is garbage. Lawrence needs to stay off the Twinkies. Let's see. Deuce says, stop patting yourself on the back. You picked the Giants instead. Russ gave us Russ. I'm not patting myself on the back. Russ does give us. You know what, Deuce? You're a fucking idiot.
Get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
You're wonka because of the fact that no one said I'm patting myself on the back because I said 3 days before the Giants are probably going to lose 35-17. And Russell Wilson does give you the best chance to win. Learn football, Deuce. Go watch Chode Sports. Go watch the tennis players because that's more your speed. Forrest Gump said it best. Stupid is as stupid does. Bye. Let's see here. The Giants should have drafted Campbell O-line. Patriots look like they got an O-line finally right. Yeah, they might have. I'm not good at predicting O-line, so I'm not going to go with that. Russell wasn't cooked. Russell wasn't cooking. He was cooked. Russell Wilson is, like I kept telling people, you're getting a 37-year-old quarterback. You're not getting the guy from when he was 24. You're getting a guy that's somewhere between Pittsburgh and Denver. But the problem is they had more talent on that team. Time to bring up Turbo Mill from the practice squad. Mr. McCormick says, I'm so tired of reading the DJ apologist, still glazing him like we haven't seen this movie before. You just summed it up. You just summed it up 100%. Daryl says, I think Scatterwood realize this isn't Arizona State real quick. And I keep talking to people about Cam Scatterwood. The block was nice. But the problem is he got lifted backwards. If you would have went up against a true linebacker or a defensive end, that type of blocking style, it's so straight. He was so straight up. He's going to get run over. He's going to get demolished. No one now is going to be surprised by Cam Scatterwood. So Let's see this. Let's see here. The play calling, Dable and Kafka, competent offense. Jaden Daniels and Cliff Kingsbury showed at some point simple you can lead the score. Kafka and Dable are doing way too much. I agree. I don't disagree. Let me see. Who did I miss that I haven't got to? I'm trying to make sure. Listen, Winston looked better than Wilson in the preseason. I said this. And I said this before. Winston looked better than Dart in the preseason. Winston knows how to. Winston is maddening. Jameis Winston, and I don't like either Russell Wilson or Jameis Winston. I've said this before. Winston is maddening because he is going to look like he is the greatest quarterback. He is going to look at points in time like you want to go look at the definition of quarterback. You see in the dictionary, it's Jameis Winston's picture. But then the problem is you want to look up anti-quarterback in the Webster's dictionary. It's a picture of Jameis Winston. He's going to drive you insane, but he can get the ball down the field. Bobby says, what happened to Bobby Okereke? He hasn't made an impact play in 2 years. He doesn't fit the system. He doesn't fit this type of system. You have a defensive coordinator, but you don't fit the system, but we've talked about that for I don't know how long. James says, all well with Giants player advantage yesterday. It's pure hell. I thought, please, God, make it stop the shit. So stop. I agree. You can't start Dart. You can't. You want to put him in a coma, and he is yet to see an NFL defense. You are going to have to game plan simplicity out of the shit for Jaxson Dart. He has yet to see a stunt. He has yet to see a shift in coverage. They are going to befuddle and perplex him. This is a guy that still was a one-read quarterback from Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin's best NFL protege is Matt Barkley. He's not known for producing NFL quarterbacks because of the system he runs, which is cut the field in half, give him one option, take away his ability to audible, and the second option is to run. Deb says, Justin Pennock, Bobby Skinner's former sidekick. Oh, the post I read. That was a good post. I don't know who he is, but it was a good post. Petro! How you doing, Petro? I haven't seen you in a while. The disaster begins again. Joe is actually the worst GM ever a team could actually have. Mid-level talent that accept us to get excited. I keep telling people, go back and look up Andy Robustelli. Let's say, hey, Tim, the Giants prove exactly what I thought, that they will be this year. Trash. This whole organization needs to go. You have talent. You have some talent on this team. Come on, 6 more likes to 100. Still 113 people watching. You have talent on this team. The problem is it's cut and paste talent that doesn't mix what you're going to do philosophy-wise. On 32 carries, we gave up 220 yards. Damn, Tim. Read my mind. I don't know what I read your mind about, but I'm great. I'm good at that. Free agent who's recovering from a broken leg. Let's sign him up. Let's give him $54 million, 36 guaranteed. Deb, Bobby Skinner ditched Justin Pennock. And now his sidekick is Dr. Evil looking dude. Sometimes I'm way behind. I'm like 40 minutes behind in the chat, and I don't even know what the hell we're talking about. Big Blue, my brother says Dable and Shane gotta go. That's all. That's all, folks. I like it. What do we got here? Ask me. I just saw you down there. Timmy. What's going on, brother? Let's see. I love how the people that said that DJ is a better offensive line all said Russ is cooked. He is legit. No time to throw. That's the problem. Everyone just wants to. I saw this one. I'm gonna get to future Chode Sports and tennis flares. I'm still. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead. Appreciate that. Go ahead. Steal that one as much as you want. Let's see here. I love how people said that DJ needs a better O-line. O-line's also saying people said Russ is cooked. He has legit. You have no time to throw the ball. You have Kafka running a deep shot offense at points and times yesterday. Russell Wilson on that big play to Neighbors. That Neighbors had to come back for a little bit on the ball. Got shellacked. But he still hung in there and threw the ball. How he did not go into concussion protocol after that hit, I don't know. 4 away from 100. Let's get those 4 likes in, guys. Let's get to 100. I don't know how he did not go into concussion protocol after that hit, because his head slammed into the back of the turf. I'm not a fan of Russell Wilson. Everyone knows this. I'm not a fan of Jameis Winston. Everybody knows this. It's not a secret. But yes, Russell Wilson gives you the best chance to win. You would have put Jaxson Dart in that game, we would have lost by 50. Because Jaxson Dart has never seen anything like he would have saw against Washington. You can't put him in against Dallas, even though they lost Parsons, because they still have a good secondary. You can't put him in against Kansas City because you cannot run him out there at home Sunday night against the Steve Spagnuolo defense. If you want to put him in early, you do it against the Saints. That's when you do it. You put him in a game on the road. I'm not putting him against hardball in Kansas City either. Against Chargers. I put him in week. If you want to play him, you play him week 4, October 5th, against the Saints. It's a road game. You can control the environment because you are in the dome. The Saints have an okay defense. I think they overachieved, but that's what you do. Put him in a game like you've done before and make him look situationally ready. The players don't fit. No, they don't fit Bowen's system. And I have to disagree with Carl Banks, who he's not a defender of Shane Bowen, but he's not an apologist either, but he kind of believes in Bowen a little bit more. I don't see this team fitting. I don't see these players fitting this system. And I watched 5 years almost of him in Tennessee. We've talked about it a million times. Pimp named Slickback, what's up? The people scream for Jaxson Dart to start are delusional. If you think Russell Wilson looked bad, you're going to be begging for Daniel Jones to come back. You might be begging for Jake Fromm. Remember Barkley? He's going to be the Bear. Remember Barkley? He's going to the Bear. Oh, you got to remember. Hold on. Let me see here. Philly's out, and the Bears are running up the price. Yeah, we'll never forget that. Where y'all hiding, Giant fans? Sorry for your loss yesterday. Never hiding anywhere. We're always here. We're always here, taking the slings of arrows of outrageous misfortune. I don't know why. It's just this whole team. This I don't know. I don't know. I just keep wanting to do it. To be or not to be? That is the question. Whether it's nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous misfortune, or take the arms against the sea of troubles, and by opposing them end. To die, to sleep, no more. And by sleep, we be the heartache and the thousands nature shocks. That flesh is to air. I know. I should be on Broadway. I know. I missed my calling. Let's see here. We're going to get to the last couple of chats here. Questions here. If we put in Jaxson in this game, he would have been in the hospital at the end of the game. Oh my God. Chris Jones is going to, it's funny, Jay. I was literally talking to James Williams about that. I said, Chris Jones is going to eat. He's going to eat JMS. And I'm trying to be nice about it. Oh, we got let's see. Robert gifted out the 5 New York Giants Straight Talk Online Big Blue memberships. Let's everyone give a big thank to Robert. You get your videos early. You get all this fun stuff. Make sure you give Robert a big thumbs up and a big thank you. We always appreciate it. Let me get to the last couple. Ones because I do have to get out of here. Let's see. Omar said, Dable said he has had to review the tape to understand what happened during the game. He was sleeping. How do you I got to look at the tape. Okay, you lived it. You didn't correct. Washington went in the second half and made corrections. You did not do that. He owes him a check. He should take a quarter of his game check, Dable, and send it to Josh Allen. Brunson says, can we hire outside consultants when we look for our new GM? Washington hired 5 experts to find a GM. It seems like every new agent is somehow connected to the Parcells tree. Well, Dable isn't. I mean, not Dable. Shane isn't. Shane isn't connected to the Parcells tree. But I agree with that. I agree with a lot of teams have gone through almost like executive searches, like from ZipRecruiter. That would have been a nice segue, but I don't do a ZipRecruiter spot till next week. We don't give everything away from free here, but a lot of teams have gone that direction, that they literally go to outside consultants. I think the Giants' fundamental issue, and like I said, guys, this will all change next week if they somehow win in Dallas. There'll be a euphoric week of Giant content creators telling people how right they were and smelling their own farts because it smells like potpourri, but not understanding that like I said, this season for the Giants is literally going to be a week-to-week season. There is going to be so many ups and so many downs that it's going to perplex people. So that's just the way it is. Jay Ferris, Dr. Evil, let's see, Dr. Evil, as you've nicknamed him, is Grump, a co-host of a podcast called Just Giants, which I've never listened to. Okay, that's interesting. The Manatee and Dr. Evil, you're so cruel. Deb, the Manatee and Dr. Evil, you are so cruel. When did she say that? I call them mom jeans. The vaunted Giant front four gave up 7 yards a carry. Yes, they did. Hiring for 100 likes, hitting for 100 likes. I love it. Petro says, I can't think of a good pick from Joe outside of Neighbors, who is a generational talent. No, you're right. OG knockout. What's good? Well, the Giants lost. I got some chicken and rice upstairs I'm going to have for lunch. So that's going to be good. And I got to walk the dogs where I got to get the kids at before 2:00. So that's going to be fun. Frankie, where have you been? The sounds of Sinatra and the way you look tonight. Haven't seen Frankie in a while. Greetings, Tim from New Orleans. Been a long time. Frankie, it's like old home week today. I love it. I love it. Nope. Name calling is not my thing. Those are for you. I thought it was pretty funny though. I was going to give you 100% credit on that. I was like, that was pretty funny. Belichick coaching tree is full of poisonous fruit. Yeah. Hung Dave is another one I haven't seen forever. Hung Dave, just joined the stream. What are your thoughts on seeing Daniel Jones with the Colts? I have no thoughts. I wished him well when he left, like I do every Giant. And I always get in trouble for wishing I even wish Nino Brown well, or DeAndre Baker. I wished him well. I hope he's successful in Indianapolis. I hope he has a career in Indianapolis. Because he just didn't have it here, and it was time to go. You don't got to go home, but you got to get the hell out of here. And let's see how he does against a real team, because Miami to me is kind of junior varsity now that they literally have no corners. And like I said, I hope him continued success, but he's no longer a Giant, so it doesn't bother me. Like Saquon Barkley, I wish Saquon Barkley were. He rushed for 2,000 yards, rushed for the most yards in NFL history, concluding the playoffs, won a Super Bowl ring. Not happy about it, but I hope he does his best. Dust off my Giants cap. It was embarrassing to wear all day. Oh, I agree. Let's see. Blackbird says, I ran out of the stadium. I was going to ask you how it went when we went for a 4th down and did he get on our last drive? I was going to ask you how that went. Same-o. You're right. OG knockout. People said the Giants would be a 9-win team or super delusional. Haven't learned from the past. Nope. I'm still saying 5. Jay Ferry says, all these positive takes from yesterday. Can the team play better into the season? No. Yes, Jay Ferris, yes. This can get better, but it's not going to be better than a 5-win team. But this can get better. You can see improvement. You just have to play to your talents. And I think some regards the Giants, I don't think Kafka is a good offensive coordinator. I don't think Brian Dable is a good offensive coordinator. I would fire one of them. I know which one you're going to fire first. It's going to be Kafka, but I just can't figure out how a team that has the ability in my mind to how can you not put together a somewhat competent offense? I mean, I really don't understand that. And it's not like the Giants at times, you know, it's funny. Okay, you look at it from this way. Washington 25 first downs, Giants had 17. Not a terrible. Their 3rd down efficiency, the Giants were 4 for 16. Washington was only 4 for 11. They both ran 200. They were both ran 62 plays. The difference was on the Giant defense. The Giant defense gave up 432 yards and 6.6 yards of play, while we each had, and I love it because if you go through it, Washington had 10 drives. We had 9. Washington killed himself. They had 12 penalties for 89 yards, and the Giants led the time of possession by almost a minute. So there are things you can improve on. It's just you have to look inward and see what you have and build the right way and play with the skills players that you have, not trying to run these wacky ass systems that just don't make sense and trying these damn trick plays that don't make any sense. I don't know. That's just my thought. I'm still going 5 wins. I am still going 5 wins. Still going 5 wins. I've been saying 5 wins for months. I'm still going 5 wins. Boy, my hair looks good today. It's Network Hair Day. That's going to be tomorrow's show, Network Hair Day. The last comment's going to go to Frank. He said they planned for 2 months for a single game. I said this to James. You missed in the beginning, Frank. I had a conversation with James Williams about how, they'll be better prepared for Dallas because they have time to prepare and all this. And I said, well, they had 4 months to prepare for Washington. How did that one work out? I sat by a bunch of Commanders fans yesterday. I had fun, even really I got embarrassed talking shit to the command. Yeah, I don't know how I give you props. How do you talk shit about this team to anyone? Oh, I'm gonna give you props on that one. Let's get to the last one from Petro. Maybe Dable didn't see yesterday's game because he was coaching up all the tape he was supposed to be looking at last year.
That's what she said.
All right, guys, it is I want to appreciate the 187 people who are still hanging out. I want to appreciate everyone that's dropped in. I want to appreciate Gregory and Deb for dropping in the super chats for the Philadelphia Children's Hospital as well. Great stream, guys. The next live stream will probably be on Sunday as always, but I think I'll do a video a day for the next couple days because I got a lot to talk about. I may jump on a couple other people's streams, so we got to make sure you stay tuned for that. And Petro, thank you too. Tim, have a great day and God bless to you and your family. I appreciate that. Appreciate that, everyone. Deb, you're welcome as well. Wyatt, everyone. Jay Ferries. We got BP still in the chat. We got Frank, yes, who's dropping by. Blackbird, of course, as always, around OG Knockout. We had Old Home Week with Petro and Emanuel. I want to thank the philosopher for dropping in and dropping by. I want to thank Omar, who we haven't seen really before, coming in. Bringing in some heat. We also got EC1 2X also dropping some knowledge, and Robert as well, and Ask Me. We always love it. And Brownie, do it, man. Chode Sports and the tennis players. I'm stealing it. And you know what, guys? Love everyone. And we're out of here.